Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the modding of Hytale. And this video topic is actually something that was brought up by another creator by the name of Hytale. And if you haven't seen their channel, I would highly recommend the video I'm about to talk about, which is in the description down below. Well, anyways, I'm going to give my own thoughts on having core mods or standards in Hytale. Of course, I don't want there to be any limits on what exactly a modder can do before they upload their mod online. No. I think that you should be able to do whatever you like in mods. You know, just start making a mod on your own, be closed off to the world, finish it, release it, and be done, right? That's all and good. But I think that there should be a community of people out there that works to make mods fit together better. For example, Minecraft's been played for a long time, with not only, you know, mod incompatibility after updates, which, by the way, I really hope Hytale has a fix for that. Like, please make a mod just work forever instead of having to be updated, like, 100 times, because honestly, it's frustrating. Anyway, an example from Minecraft, right? I've played a lot of modded in my day, and there's one thing that has never had an official standard, and that's electricity. I mean, literally, I've come across, like, 10 to 15 different types of electricity. I'm going to list off a few of the ones I've had to deal with in the past. You probably are going to recognize all of them. You have charge from factorization, EU from industrial craft, GJ from galactic craft, J from mechanism, MJ from buildcraft, and RF from thermal expansion. It seems that in recent times, like, you know, 2017 onwards, that RF has taken the spot as like the main electricity, but back when tech it was a thing, I'm pretty sure EU from Galacticraft was the most popular. But yeah, anyway, there's literally like those are like only a few of the ones I've dealt with, but it's really annoying when, you know, nowadays mods kind of just work together because like they get automatically converted to RF. But back in the day, right, you would need other mods that have a converter to convert one type of power to another type of power, and there's some mods that still haven't shaken that. A great example is ME systems. I forgot what mod adds it, but in order to make an ME system work or to make growth crystals work, you need to have a power converter that takes in RFs. I don't even know what unit of power it uses, but whatever it is, it needs to be converted from RF to the new format. Still, in 2019, you need a power converter mod. Like, it's honestly stupid. Some other examples of mods not really playing nice together is having repeat items and different mods, and they do different things. The most recent example for me has been Open Blocks, and they have this awesome mob fan that, you know, blows mobs away. But then, if you look, in Stone Block at least, there's like 6 different kinds of fans, and they all do different things, and some of them are almost completely useless, and some are more, you know, expensive than others. And I guess you could just chalk it up to, hey, maybe there's just the more efficient way to go about doing it, and you have to know your way around the mods. But I don't know. There's just a lot of not standard things happening, and it's weird. So I propose that I think some core mods could help the community. For example, it would be very similar to the way that Spigot does things. So, for anybody that's not in the Spigot / plugin development community, there are core mods or plugins. For example, Vault. Basically, every economy plugin I've seen, including the ones I've made myself, use Vault because it's a long time standard that no one's questioned really, and it's just a great thing to have. All it does is provide a currency and a way to give, you know, money between players, or just exchange it between different accounts, so to speak. And it's something that I would say countless plugins use now. Another example is Luck Perms or PEX. I use PEX personally because it's the old one, but permissions have always been a standard. Every plugin uses permissions basically, except for like the really, you know, small ones that aren't like mainstream. Again, it's a standard. It's just a part of mods, or it's a part of plugins, that there's groups for permissions, and each group has different permissions. You can specify how many groups there are, which permissions each group has, which people are given the default group, and what permissions the default group gets, things like that. And then you have things like Multiverse and Essentials. So Multiverse is a standard that, you know, since it kind of fell off the radar from 2014 to 2017, you know, there were a lot of broken versions being distributed everywhere. It was really tough on servers because there was no good standard for multiple worlds in one spigot server. But, you know, it started to update again 2018, 2019, so that worked out. And then you have Essentials, which has just been around forever. It gives you the basic commands that like every server would need. I think in modding, it would be good to have things that are just standard, some of which might not even have an effect in the game itself. They'll be used as like an API or something that would be imported by other mods. So for example, Vault. I mean, Vault does have some commands of its own, but just imagine it didn't, right? It would just have the basics, the ability to own money, to have accounts, and that's it, and just transferring between the accounts. And if that could be imported, let's just say replace money with electricity, maybe there'd be a store of electricity, there's a way to transfer electricity to that store, maybe there'd be other factors, like if you're running a wire, maybe there'd be a distance calculated between how far the electricity goes, how much of it is lost because of, you know, heat, or some other reason that electricity gets lost over long distances. And then you would have things like transfer rate, so how far or how much electricity can travel through one wire at once, and things like that. All of these standards could be built into some core mod, and then anybody that wants to make a machine could then import that core mod as an API, or maybe it'd be a core API, not even a mod, it would just be an API. They'd implement the API, and then automatically they would have a mod that's able to use electricity. And then it would just make it a lot easier in the modders too. And since there'd be a standard, you can have multiple things from different mods interacting with each other seamlessly. That's what I'm going for here. So instead of having to have a mod that is made specifically, for example, converting from Buildcraft power to Industrial Craft power, why not just have Buildcraft and Industrial Craft use the same core mod for electricity? You know, you could still do all the stuff you do in those mods, but all the functionality for transferring power and storing power is from the same thing. It just makes it a lot simpler. Mod packs fall short in this way when you get countless ideas of stuff you could do, but then you get slapped in the face with incompatibilities like this. There's also other things, like maybe there'd be a modded piece of armor that you can't put on a certain kind of mob, because the mob was maybe added by a mod that didn't support that armor from a different mod. Things like that. So maybe there'd be an API for armor. I don't know. And of course, I think that a lot of mods should be open source to allow for things like, for example, if somebody falls off the radar, right? If a mod developer made something in like 2019 and then 5 years go by and the community is still very much alive and people are making mod packs and they're just having a great time making their modded servers and stuff, but the developer of the mod is like long gone. Like they're off in college or something, or they got a job, or they moved on, and the mod's just been sitting there abandoned all this time. It'd be great if somebody could pick up the pieces and move on. But of course, if the mods are closed, then you can't do that. It's just kind of dead. Well, anyway, those are my thoughts on having core mods. Of course, I could go way more in depth for other types of core mods, but electricity is my favorite example. Leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you would like to continue the Hytale discussion, you should join my Discord channel, the 30Virus Botnet. The link's in the pinned comment and the description down below, and on there you can talk about all things Hytale, or things that are not Hytale. It's just a chill place to hang out and get notifications for my videos so you don't miss any of them. Well, anyway, that is it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.